Hello and welcome to the fourth video in this sequence based on the EEF guidance report to improving mathematics in key stages 2 and 3. You can find them and watch the previous 3 videos on the Charles Dickens Research School website or YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. So let's take a look at recommendation 4. Enable pupils to develop a rich network of mathematical knowledge. To do this, we should emphasize the many connections between mathematical facts, procedures and concepts. Ensure that pupils develop fluent recall of facts. Quick retrieval of number facts is important for success in mathematics. It is likely that pupils who have problems retrieving addition, subtraction, multiplication and division facts, including number bonds and multiples, will have difficulty understanding and using mathematical concepts they encounter later on in their studies. You should teach pupils to understand procedures. Pupils are able to apply procedures most effectively when they understand how the procedures work and in what circumstances they are useful. Fluent recall of a procedure is important, but teachers should ensure that appropriate time is spent on developing understanding. One reason for encouraging understanding is to enable pupils to reconstruct steps in a procedure that they may have forgotten. The recommendations in this guidance on visual representations, misconceptions, and setting problems in real-world contexts are useful here. You should teach pupils to consciously choose between mathematical strategies. Teachers should help pupils to compare and choose between different methods and strategies for solving problems in algebra, number, and elsewhere. Pupils should be taught a range of mental, calculator, and pencil and paper methods, and encouraged to consider when different methods are appropriate and efficient. You should also build on pupils' informal understanding of sharing and proportionality to introduce procedures. Multiplicative reasoning is the ability to think about multiplication and division. It's an important skill which is required for tasks that involve ratios, rates and proportions, and is often required in real-life contexts such as best buy problems. For example, a common misconception when asked to work out the quantities required for 10 people from a recipe for 4 people involves many pupils adding 6 because the difference in the number of people is 6, rather than multiplying by 2.5 or doubling and adding half as much again because the ratio is 4 to 10, 2 to 5 or 1 to 2.5. You should teach pupils that fractions and decimals extend a number system beyond whole numbers. Fractions are often introduced to pupils with the idea that they represent parts of a whole. For example, 1/2 is one part of a whole that has 2 equal parts. This is an important concept, but it does not extend easily to mixed fractions that are greater than 1. Another important concept is often overlooked. Fractions are numbers which can be represented on the number line. They have magnitudes or values, and they can be used to refer to numbers in between whole numbers. Understanding that fractions are numbers and being able to estimate where they would occur on a number line can help pupils to estimate the result of adding 2 fractions and so recognize and address misconceptions such as the common error of adding fractions by adding the numerators and then adding the denominators. You should also teach pupils to recognize and use mathematical structure. Paying attention to underlying mathematical structure helps pupils make connections between problems, solution strategies, and representations that may on the surface appear different but are actually mathematically equivalent. Teachers should support pupils to use language that reflects mathematical structure, for example by rephrasing pupils' responses that use vague, non-mathematical language with appropriate mathematical language. That's it from me for this video. Thanks again for watching, and look out for the next video about recommendation 5, developing pupils' independence and motivation.